and ain't no wannabes here. With some not so nice advice for your writing career. To be clear, no punches will be pulled, but the punch may be spiked. How they like before they get on the mic. To my left, we got the mighty Mer Lafferty. And if I piss her off, believe me, she'll come after me. And her co-host, Matt Evan Wallace, on the right. Yes, she may be half as hype as she can take him in a fight. So settle in, folks, buckle in and boot up. Time to meddle in a way to make your writer shut up. It's hard work, but the perk is that it's fun and exciting. Facebook will still be there when you're done writing. Ditch Diggers! Ditch Diggers!
All right, coming to you live from Morgan Freeman's way better than Chuck Wendig's writing shed. It is the Ditch Diggers with some of our favorite guest stars, Cameron Hurley and Chuck Wendig, and we have Matt Wallace, and I am Mer Lafferty. Hi, guys.
Hi.
Hi.
Oh, hey.
Oh, you again?
Like I didn't see you there. Oh.
Shit.
We should point out that Murr and I are always here, and Chuck and Cameron are the guests. That was kind of confusing if you're just joining us.
Yeah, I can do that again if you want.
No,
we are the best guests. You
are the best guests.
Everyone already knows. It's implied.
We're the guests of prime.
You are. This is your third appearance, isn't it?
Yeah.
Completing the trilogy. We have to have some kind of revelation. We have to have some kind of third act revelation to share for the conclusion of the Hurley and Wendig on Ditch Diggers trilogy.
Well, you work on that, but we're not to the third act yet, so...
Yeah, we got to do the end. So put it in your mind for the end.
Right.
Well, I meant the third act. Like, this is the third act.
Listen, Matt,
yeah, but we need to have 3 acts in this podcast, Matt.
True, Matt. That's story.
Then, that would be 9 acts overall across the 3 trilogies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, now it's become less writing and more math, and I refuse to do math. I became a writer so I would not have to do math specifically. Okay. That was the only reason I became a writer.
Yeah. Man, fuck this math.
I know.
What is the other end of the school? Oh, it's the English class. Yeah.
How can I ensure I never have to do math again as an adult?
Yeah. Unfortunately, like, you have to still do math.
I was just going to say, you
do
royalty statements, and you get, your taxes. You have to do.
Taxes.
Yeah.
I got foreign rights money, which was very exciting, and then found out that country took taxes out, and now my accountant has to work to make sure that the U.S. doesn't tax me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Forms you have to fill out to do that. It's terrible.
There is the Portugal thing. Oh, yeah.
It's not fun.
Mm-hmm. So anyway, I'm
not thinking Portugal, so I don't know what that means.
The rest.
You're just supposed to nod, Matt.
The rest of you,
The Portugal thing. Come on.
Listen, I'm big in Spain right now. Okay, so I'll take what I can fucking get. Yeah.
I don't blame you. I do not at all. I think we all have to take what we can fucking get at this point.
2017. That's the motto. Just take.
It
is.
Yeah.
Well, listeners, you get to take what you fucking get, which is our end of the year spectacular, where we're going to talk about how much of a great year this was. And I told you we should be drinking.
It was a year.
And our plans for the next year. People like it when we do... what's the word?
People like when
you go. People like it when we look back and when we look forward. We do that end of the year thing.
Retrospective?
Sure. That works.
Okay. I think that's the word. Is there another word that I'm not thinking of?
Yeah. Sure. Probably.
There's always a lot of words you're not thinking of, man.
There are. That's true.
The world is full of words.
The world is full of words. They are the numbers of English.
They are the numbers of... It's like math, really, if you think about it.
It really is. I screwed myself. Everything I've tried to do with my life, I've done the exact opposite.
Damn it.
So, 2017. A bunch of stuff happened.
True.
Globally, personally, professionally, things happen. I think we should focus more on the personally, professionally side, since this is a podcast about writing business.
Yes.
Good point.
Although there is a big writing business thing that's been in the news that I would like to cover eventually. We'll do that in the second act.
Yeah.
When things get dark.
I love that you suddenly seized on this act structure now that I mentioned the third act thing. You never cared about this before.
New dog is getting trash out of my daughter's room. I have to go for a moment.
That's okay. We'll vamp.
I like your daughter's hats in her YouTube videos.
Fiona has
Sorry.
so much style. It's ridiculous. She
Right?
she
I
puts,
love her hats. I need more hats, basically. I watch her YouTube videos and I think I myself could use more hats.
Well, you got the glasses going now. So
Right? That's
you
right, Dobson. I'm so excited.
you got to get to like the fisherman's hats. And the
Are you guys
whole
talking about Fiona's thing?
I like the flaps, on the sides. Again, from my Alaska days. Yeah. So I absolutely admire Fiona's hats, which I've told Mur that, good job on the hats. So, yeah.
My wife
Fiona's
has theory that
so
everyone should have a go to hell hat. They should have
A
one
go to hell.
go to hell hat. And I like it.
I love that. That's going to be my new personal philosophy.
Yeah. Put on your go to hell hat and get to work.
It's hard for me to find
Yeah.
hats though, because my head is so monstrously large. So
You have options. That's the good thing, though. I mean, there's so many hats that you can be your go to hell hat.
Mm.
You got to
I
find
will
what
have
to
to.
do.
I'll ask
That's what-
Fiona's opinion on what kind of go to hell hat you should have.
Fiona is the one to talk to about hats.
Yeah,
I was
Fiona is the hat.
Fiona's hat council. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hat
The funny
counts.
thing is, she has to wear a hat because she's got green hair, and we work with a green screen. So
Oh, I had not even considered.
Right?
Yeah. That's why.
I
Go
was the
back and look
same-
at-
I was the same. Yeah.
go back and watch day one when we did not have a
Oh.
hat.
That's hilarious,
Yeah.
man. That had not even occurred to me. That's awesome. So
Yep,
she has to come up with a lot of dope hats, one
Yeah.
after the other, because she has to wear them. That's
Exactly.
fantastic.
She's really looking hard
Necessity
for
is
it.
the mother of hat invention.
Yeah.
That's just the way it is.
Einstein said that.
Einstein did say that.
Yeah.
In one of the dirty letters, he wrote one of his many mistresses.
Yeah.
Because he fucked everything.
He did.
Everything, Chuck.
Yeah. James Joyce and him were at a torrid affair.
Yeah.
Torrid.
Are there letters between Joyce and Einstein? Because if not, I'm writing that fanfic after
They're more,
the
like limericks.
after the
Yeah.
Top Gun fanfic.
Dirty Irish science fics.
Like half
Oh,
limericks, half
All
Bushido
I have heard
haiku.
about is
Like-
for the, like the Scott Fitzgerald and Hemingway fanfic.
Yeah.
So I don't know about the rest.
Is that kind of like the Bowie Jagger thing of their time?
Of their time. Yes, correct.
Of their
Yep.
time. Gotcha.
Mhm. Yep.
So writing.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So we're doing a show here, so
Oh.
me and Chuck will remind you guys occasionally. Hey, there's a show.
That's
The show, and
right.
it's happening right now.
It's
I
happening.
am keeping us on track. I brought it
Okay.
back.
All right,
I'm
good
doing-
job. Approved.
All right, let's
Yeah.
let's start with Cameron. What do you want to
Oh.
tell us about 2017?
Fuck 2017.
Yeah.
Fucking year. I don't know. 2017 was one of those years as a writer, and I know a lot of people were like this, where you feel like a fucking loser, where you're just like, how the fuck can I not do fucking work, especially in America, right? And I'm sure the British also feel this way because
Yeah.
of Brexit and all this bullshit. But you go, how the fuck can I even get anything done and feel like a reasonable human being with all this shit going down? But honestly, here's the thing that happens to me, okay, in 2017. I sit down, I want to feel sorry for myself, and then I literally fucking sit down and I go, here's a little shit I did this year. And then you go, oh, I did a lot. I wrote 12 short stories this year.
Yeah.
I wrote 90,000 words of a novel. Yes, it didn't work, but 60,000 of it I can salvage and make into a book for 2018. So it's like, I really did do things. But you feel like you didn't get anything done because, again, the context of 2017 is like all this bullshit. So for me, again, I kind of look back and I go, I did create work, and some of that was, and I know, Mur, you want to talk a little bit about Patreon. Some of that was because of Patreon. It forced me to create work that I don't, not forced me, but I'm very money motivated. I'm a mercenary. I'm a mercenary at heart. So it works out very well for me. But also, despite some of the ebbs and flows of, the writing career, I look at it and I go, I wrote 12 short stories this year. I wrote what a lot of YA authors would consider more than a novel. It might have sucked, but it's more than a novel. And I had a day job. And I kept health insurance. So I tell
That right
myself,
there.
right? I
that's
tell
her
myself,
right
like,
there.
Kind of buried the lead a little bit. I would have led
right?
with that.
And also fucking health insurance. Fuck everything.
You're a goddamn hero.
Jesus Christ. So I survived, and this is what I tell a lot of people, where I'm like, if you are here listening to these words right now, you survived 2017 in America. Good for you!
Woo!
So to be fair, it is
Right?
may have
Like-
dispersed a whole lot of people.
We got a few weeks yet. Really.
Yeah.
Like you're kind of jinxing us, if anything.
God damn it, you guys! Be excited about.
I'm
the fact that
excited.
we made it. Yeah, Mur, thank you.
Yeah.
So I'm excited that we made it this far, and that's my take on 2017. Is fuck, I'm still alive. I'm still. There's still, as I tell my husband, we still have cash flow.
The cash must flow.
Positive cash flow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We may have a lot of debt. We may be paying $2,000 a month in healthcare costs. But there's cash flow. So, fuck you, 2017.
Yeah.
I mostly won. So.
Mostly one. I love
Yeah.
that.
Sort of.
Okay, Chuck. What about you?
Yeah.
Yeah, Chuck, follow
I don't
that.
know. Like, can I just say same? Like, I feel the same. I got a lot done. I did a lot of things. I released some books. I felt good about that. But the never-ending unfolding 2017 does make you feel like, I don't know. I think it's because time moves differently in 2017. Like, you tell me things that happened in 2017, and I'm pretty sure they happened like 6 years ago.
Right.
Things that happened politically, and I'm like, wait, that was not just last week. And it was. Like, it's just a never-ending. It's like someone constantly just punching it. It feels like there's, like, as I'm writing every day, like just outside my murder shed in the woods is like an outhouse full of like demons and angry and horror. The worst, like all the evil in the world is in this outhouse, and like every day it gets like a foot closer to my writing shed. And I know I have to just sit here and keep doing the work, and it just keeps getting closer, and I have to try not to look at it.
But once it gets close enough, you'll have an outhouse right beside your writing shed. You don't have to go back to the house to pee.
That's true, and I will be peeing on demons.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's notable. Like that's something. I don't know if it's good.
2018, the year we pee on demons.
It's as good a motto. It's really. Do we even have a better motto right now?
I don't think
that's
so.
The most optimistic thing we
The
can.
demons are so close, we must defecate on them.
Yeah,
Yes. The
Done.
year we shat on the demons.
Yeah, the year we shot on
I
demons.
call book title.
Writing. Yeah,
I call book
get some more. I don't know. It's good. I wrote like a 260,000 word book, which
Right? Oh my God, Chuck.
Oh, that's right. We have to hate you for
On
that.
Twitter, I was like, Jesus Christ, Chuck.
What I didn't say it was good. It's just a lot
I
of
was
lot
doing
of words.
shit all day. Yeah.
I hadn't even heard about this. Like this, so that's one book.
Yeah, he did it in like 26 hours or something.
I assumed he did it right before we started this podcast. Yeah, while he was waiting for us to start, he wrote
Yeah.
200,000.
I wrote the sequel while we were waiting.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So
No,
seriously,
it actually took me 6 months. It took me longer to write that than most books these days. Though I mean, Blackbird took me like 5 years to write. So yeah,
you are the James Joyce of your generation.
yeah, that's clearly and clearly I'm headed toward like Finnegan's Wake territory where I just gibberish for 600 pages.
Are you having sex with the Einstein of this generation?
Yes.
Okay.
Now we have to leave all that in for this to make sense.
Yeah.
Well, I feel humbled now. So does it suck? At least tell me it sucks, Chuck.
Oh
Give me
God.
that.
Yeah. No, it's bad.
Terrible.
Oh, it's bad. It's got like so many plot holes. You could drive the book through the plot holes again and again. Just it's book size plot holes. So I am going to have so much. And I've never edited a book that big. I've never written a book that big, and I've never edited a book that big. So I know the edit is going to hurt really bad. It's going to be like passing something through my colon that I don't like. It's not going to be good. I'm not.
You're going to pass the book through your colon after you
pass
throw
the
it through
whole
the
book through the colon. That's how it will feel.
I'm going to start keeping track of all the poop metaphors. That's 2.
Yeah. That's true.
I'm just So was this? So now I'm curious to kind of tie it into the theme here. Was this a book you'd been planning for a while, or was this a reaction to the year that we're having in some way?
No, it's a book it's a book that I had in my head for like 5 years, but I never knew what to do with it. And then I was pitching to HarperCollins to follow up for Invasive and Zeros. And Harper said, like, hey, do this thing where you pitch us like 5 books, and maybe we'll buy all 5 books, and they'll be all set in the Zeros Invasive universe, and it'll be great. And I said, that's so awesome. I don't have 5 books to pitch you. That's the thing about 5 books. I mean, I don't have that in that universe, but I can do that.
Yeah.
So like my agent and I worked for a while to churn out these like sort of like intense, high level, disconnected but all in the same universe pitches. And I had 4 that worked really well with zeros and invasive. And then I had this 5th idea in my head that suddenly I knew how to make work, but not in the context of those books. So I was like, well, I don't care. I'm just going to put it in the pile anyway, because this is all a nonsense process. So I put this weird book in with the other 4 and sent it to Harper. And they were like, hey, that thing we told you to do when you pitched the 5 books, we don't like that anymore. We like that one book. And so we want to buy that one. And then I didn't end up selling that book to them because for various deal-related publishing reasons. And then I ended up selling it to Del Rey. So I'm Del Rey now. And but the weird thing is writing that book, like as much as I didn't want 2017 to be a part of it, it just was.
Right.
It was. I don't think there was any way to, unthread that from the narrative.
Well, that was a wacky publishing story you just told me, Joe.
Well, it's funny. That's how I sold 6 Wakes.
Yeah.
They asked for a number of proposals, and I sent them 3, and 2 I thought were awesome, and one was this little sci-fi thriller thing when I'd never written sci-fi or thriller or mystery, and that was the one they wanted, and I was kind of stunned, actually.
Good. So good.
I wasn't fishing, but thank you.
No,
I'm just saying it was a weird thing that I didn't think that was the one that would fly, and that's the one they wanted.
Well, that's how it is. Isn't that the story behind Gilmore Girls? Like, right? Amy Sherman Palladino went in and pitched X story, and then they just kept saying, the classic, what else do you have? What else do you have? And she kept finally, like, making things up until the end. It was just like, I don't know, there's a mother and a daughter, and she had her too young, and they talk fast, and they're like, sold. She's like, no,
that was the pitch verbatim. Yeah.
So, like, just between us, being all of publishing is like a really weird industry, right?
Right.
Publishing
It's weird. It's weird. It's dumb.
Stupid.
So, Chuck, did you have more things to say about 2007?
No, just publishing's dumb. That's it.
Publishing's dumb. Weird.
It's just a stupid industry. I mean, it's not as stupid as other industries.
It's not as stupid as others. Yeah.
No,
that's true. That is true.
You don't have to go into work every day wearing pants.
Yeah, that is especially not good.
My favorite feature, for sure. So it's 2017. Well, I wrote a 270,000 word novel.
Well done.
Whatever. Don't make a big deal about it. No, I'm just kidding. I couldn't even.
Back to work, Wallace.
Of doing something like that. No, man, it was 2017 was a strange year for me personally, and not even getting to all the stuff happening like outside my own door. But we dealt with a death in the family very early in the year, and that was very rough. And then just when the clouds started apart, just when the clouds started apart from that, my wife, who was my fiance at the time, goes, I don't like the HOA here anymore. Let's buy a house.
Good choice.
So
HOAs suck.
Yeah. While we were planning to get married, because again, she was my fiance at the time. She's my wife now. We got married a few months ago. So I had all of those things going on. So I had to deal with all of that before I could even get to, oh, hey, look outside. The world's on fire. Yeah. And I had this weird dichotomy of it definitely impacted my ability to work, but it also necessitated me working more because you need money to buy a house and to get married and to live in Southern California without starving. Right. So this year, more than any other year, I felt a massive, impetus on delivering as a writer. And that more than anything was really what I struggled with. Again, obviously, world burning, very tough. But I guess I had the privilege of having so much personal shit going on. I had less time to notice the larger scale stuff. But it was good. It was good motivation. It didn't feel good for about 6 months. It felt horrible, and it was very tough to kind of grapple with where I am at this point in my career as opposed to where I would really like to be. But I just ended up using it as fuel. And the last few months in particular, I've really kind of kicked my ass in gear to produce. And I'm front loading 2018 as heavily as possible. Got 2 books getting ready to go out and a proposal for another series. And I've started this YouTube channel. And I am almost, I'm like this close to securing this new full-time writing job. And so, yeah, I actually have a lot of personal optimism heading into the next year. But I am supremely glad that this year is over. I want it to die, and I want to pour lye on its body. So, yeah, that's what 2017 is to me. It's a corpse covered in lye, slowly being eaten by chemicals in the ground.
But it's a corpse that worked for you at times. That's the weird thing.
It did. I fed on the thighs of the corpse when I needed to, and I don't know where I've gotten to with this metaphor. It's like completely spun out of control.
Just the thighs?
Just the thighs. I don't know why. It was the first body part that came to mind.
I don't know. Yeah.
They are. They're very meaty. They're meaty. And
the thighs of 2017 are meaty. That's what we need to know. Really. Yeah.
The meaty also.
Somebody, I'd go for the thighs. That makes sense.
Right. It makes sense. Because honestly, they could still live while you carve off pieces of meaty thighs. Yeah.
Well, you don't eat a year like 2017 all at once. Or,
yeah.
Right. God knows.
Like that old.
That's some
like
wisdom shit right there, Matt.
Deep wisdom.
Also, for little known fact, all of your power is actually contained in your thighs.
Oh, that's good to know.
That's the truth. So.
Well,
you ever,
let's beef up. Yeah.
So, yeah, Mur, 2017, your thoughts?
I had 2 books come out, 6 weeks, and I should be writing. The 6 weeks response was startling. I'm still not fully aware of how that happened. I need to somehow get faith in that book I wrote a couple of years ago.
You mean how it was good and everybody liked it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How it ended up in some best of the year list.
How you wrote a good book and everybody read it and was like, this is a really good book.
Yes.
Weird how that happens.
Sometimes. Not all the time.
Certainly. Yeah.
Not all the time. You're right. You are absolutely right about that. Yeah.
Every year around this time, I think I'm jealous of everybody else who says exactly how much they wrote because I never keep track. And so, again, I didn't keep track. But I wrote a lot of short stuff. I've been writing on book burners. I wrote some short stories. Chuck and I wrote for the Star Wars anthology, which I suppose for Chuck is just like old hat, but for me it was still a big thrill.
Yeah, it's just old for me now.
Yeah.
No,
and,
it's exciting.
yeah.
The anthology was awesome. Your story was great too.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
So was yours.
I love the Biff thing.
I'm horribly jealous of both of you. I'll say it right now.
It was beautiful.
I got invited to be on a project I can't talk about yet, so that'll be that was a nice ego boost, and hopefully I can talk about it. Well, of course I'll talk about it next year because it's supposed to come out next year, but hopefully I can talk about it soon. But that a lot of potential stuff happened this year. My agent and I decided that I'd spent a whole lot of time writing proposals and not selling books, and we think maybe that shouldn't be the way I try to sell books. So we decided I would try to sell my next standalone thing on spec. So I'm writing a full novel, and it's not sold at all. So there's a little bit of anxiety going there. And then I tried to make an interactive fiction proposal for the Sundance New Frontier workshop, which is an amazing opportunity. They pick 6 projects, they fly you out there for a week, they pay for everything, and part of the workshop is getting you hooked up with pros that can help you complete the project, also get you hooked up with funding. So it's a huge long shot, but
Wow.
I didn't get it. Not a big surprise. They did say, we chose 3 fiction projects, so the odds were very, very low. But I suddenly realized I've got this. I now have the bones of a book proposal. It doesn't have to be interactive fiction. So I wrote my agent and said, how we said I was going to do a book on spec? I'm probably going to be sending you a proposal for something else anyway. So that is kind of taking up my brain power right now. So
That's cool.
Yeah. I'm excited about it, which probably means it won't sell at all. And I'll just poop out an idea. Third poop metaphor. I'll just shit out an idea and that'll be the one they love.
If you found a giant trunk of gold in your backyard, you'd say the same thing about that. You'd be like, it probably won't
You so
sell.
would. No one's gonna want this gold.
No one's gonna want all this gold.
Stupid gold.
It's too shiny.
Well, you guys know I had that horrible con experience where I read the first chapter of Six Wakes, and I had the bro workshop from hell.
Yeah, well, that's like bro bullshit.
Oh, well, I know it's bro bullshit,
that's like Twitter in real life. Fuck them all. They can go fuck themselves in the fucking ass.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
But that is the grandchild of the woman who threw the Nazi foot in the river talking. I am the granddaughter of the granddaughter of the woman who, chased a live turkey down suburban Charlotte Street, screaming at it. So when I get the bro workshop thing,
listen. Who else's grandmother would go after the turkey? A lot of people are like, you know what? Fuck it. The turkey ran away. Fuck that turkey. Your grandma ran after the goddamn turkey, Mer. Not everyone's grandma would do that. Okay, that's
true.
I don't know. I mean, in the Depression era, I assume everybody would have. It was hard to get turkeys then.
Yeah, well, she won them on the radio, which she did.
She won it on the radio?
Yep.
It was a radio turkey?
Radio turkey.
Radio
my
giveaway.
Queen song, by the way. Radio
told us at Gen Con. Where have you been, Matt?
No, it's just that was a fortune teller once told me that's how I'm going to die, by radio turkey. So
radio turkey.
I always take any mention of a radio turkey very seriously for that reason, because you never know.
Seriously.
It might be the radio turkey that ends me.
It's possible my grandmother was not chasing after the turkey to get it back, but to protect the entire Charlotte suburb from the radio turkey because it was searching for its next victim.
Exactly, Mer. So don't discount your grandmother chasing the turkey down that street.
Right?
That was her Nazi boot. We all have our version of a Nazi boot.
We all have a Nazi boot.
And that radio turkey was your grandmother's Nazi boot, which is the weirdest fucking sentence I've ever said in my life.
But you guys ate. You ate a turkey. You know what?
Mm-hmm. Did you eat the turkey? I thought it was like
No, this is well before I was born.
Oh, okay.
I think this is one of my mom's childhood stories.
But did she eat the turkey? Because then technically you ate the turkey then too.
I don't remember. I don't remember the end of the story. I just remember how mortified my mother was.
Yeah.
In with my grandmother standing under the tree, turkey yelling at it to calm down.
Did they eat it though?
I don't know.
Important, Mer.
Yeah.
I'll try to find out.
You needed to know if they ate the turkey.
That generation, they
doesn't work.
Ate everything.
They ate everything.
They probably ate the feathers off that turkey.
Yes. My grandfather tells a story about going to the beach, and there was a hobbled was it a pigeon? They eat the pigeon.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because you're starving. You're literally starving during the Great Depression. So they ate this injured pigeon that they brought back.
That they found on the beach. You don't have to think of starving people on a beach. Usually, don't associate beaches with starvation. You know what I'm saying?
But that's how it was. Yeah.
People do
I like how we're predicting 2018 right here. Our call at the end of next year will be like, so I ate the injured pigeon
on the beach.
Pigeon was delicious. I'll just tell you right now, it was so good. Yeah.
And we'll all have our own Nazi boot stories because America will be filled with Nazi boots.
We're there.
Everything will come full circle. Symmetry is its own reward. It's its own aesthetic profession.
Yeah.
Happy notes.
Anyway, I was saying that I'm not quite Cameron's no fucks to give mentality. I wish I were, but that workshop really killed. What?
I think very few of us are at Hurley's level of no fucks given.
True.
Hurley's found like a new universe of no fucks given.
Look at my glasses, my Hunter S. Thompson glasses. Just look at them.
Those glasses do not give a fuck.
Nor should they.
Nor should they.
Right? No.
Anyway, it sucked.
Keep going, Mer.
That experience.
Yeah.
It killed my killed whatever ego I had, and I'd already sold the book. So that was really bad.
I feel like we've all been there, and we'll be there again in some form or fashion. That's the thing.
This is a hills and valleys career.
Yeah, no shit.
Yeah.
And 2017 was a lot of hill. So hopefully we'll see the valley in 2018.
Which is the good part.
Yeah, wait, I thought the valleys were the bad part. I thought
the hill was the bad part.
I think I think maybe one of you is thinking the metaphor is how far can you see, and the other one's thinking how difficult it was to get there.
Yeah, I'm fat, so I don't like hills.
That's fair. I don't like
That's
hills.
kind of where I'm coming from.
But also,
So it
when
takes a
you're
long
in the
time
valley,
to climb up
it's
the
still
hill,
kind of-
so it sucks.
So the valley is the best. In all seriousness, I never
Yeah,
had
'cause
any
I think
idea.
it's like highs and lows, right? Hills.
Oh,
Yeah, you look at a graph.
Yeah. You can see the clouds, and it's pretty. Whereas valleys, where it's like, I don't know, septic systems. I don't know what's going on in the valley, but it's bad. I guess there's velociraptors or something down there.
That's where the carbon dioxide collects.
Sure.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
It's all raptors and carbon dioxide.
Also, raptors and carbon dioxide and sewer systems overflowing. And demon outhouses.
And Chuck's piss.
Boy,
just
And Nazi
everywhere.
feet.
Chuck's just pissed all over all of it.
Radio.
Well, hey, I've learned something here today. Apparently, the hills were always the best part of the hills and valley metaphor. I never knew that.
Yeah. Bottom is where the radio turkeys are, Matt.
Yeah.
And that's where I'll die one day
Where you'll
because
die.
I'm heading for the valley when I should have
I
been
just
heading
thought it was
for the hill.
good. That's the
That's
trick.
it.
That's the irony of this this situation.
And that the fortune teller left that part out. So
They always do.
They always do. They always leave out the part about the hills and the valleys and how that factors in. That's why I never knew that.
Yep,
But now that I've learned this, I've altered my own future. It's like Terminator 2.
it is. But
And-
then will it try to like snap back elastic to getting you with radio turkeys still?
I don't know, Chuck. I don't know.
This is important.
That's the dark, winding road, that we can't see a mile ahead of.
That's true.
So anyway, apparently, so to rephrase, 2017 was all valley. We're looking for the hills in 2018.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're looking for some good views.
Because I don't want 2018 to be all valley and then everybody blames me for it. It's like, well, Matt was the one who said that 2018 needed to be all valley, so here we are, breathing carbon dioxide, being eaten by raptors,
And radio
knee-deep in
turkeys.
demons,
And the
except
radio
when it's fist. And then here come the radio turkeys.
Yeah, here they come. In this 2019 radio show we do together, we'll discuss this and see.
We will.
We'll see if we need to blame you or what. That's all.
We'll look back on a year of valleys and radio turkeys next year. So should we talk about next year? Isn't that the other part of the
Oh
thing?
yeah, yes.
Because we do the retrospective. We talk about where we've been, and then we talk about where we're going.
We talk about the hills and the valleys.
We talk about the hills and the valleys, and to reiterate, the hills are the bad part.
Right.
So apparently, everybody but me knew.
Yeah, everybody knew that.
No, the
But-
hills are the good part.
Yeah.
You messed it up again.
Did I seriously just do it again?
Yeah.
Oh,
And I agreed with you, so I wasn't even looking.
Who even knows?
Did I just completely mishear that? Am I
What
the
time
odd
is
one
it?
out?
Where are we? What time is who? What?
are you?
I would trust Mur to know what's going on before I trusted myself. That's really
Okay.
what I look to Mur. Yeah. Speaking of that,
What
Yeah.
the fuck is going on? Yeah.
why don't you kick it off? Why don't tell us what's going on in 2018? What are you looking ahead to?
Let's see. Well, I've got the project I can't talk about yet, and I've got Book Burners coming out, Book Burners Season 4, and I have those two projects I'm trying to sell. So,
Is that what's really? Do you have broader, are there overall things you want to accomplish beyond what's?
oh,
immediately
you're
on
like
your
asking a 10,000 feet question.
I am because
Shit,
it's
I
the
don't
end of
know.
the year, man. It's
Mer,
the
do you want to be
conclusion.
a famous $1 million author of excellence, Mer,
I mean,
in
not
2018?
not necessarily by the end of next year. I just
Yeah, I think it's going to take me a little while to get to that part.
just
It's
$1 million shy of being a millionaire.
yeah,
all it is.
exactly. Shit, I don't know. I mean, I'm not good at the long term. I think I got to write this book, and I got to write the next book, and
Yeah,
I
that's
gotta
totally
keep-
cool. That's the answer,
yeah.
and that's cool. But
And
that's what
I
people
gotta.
want.
I had a realization. I won't say specifically what this is. I'll tell you all after we stop recording. But I've been trying to do the brave thing, network and step forward and put myself out there. And everyone says, that's how things happen. And I did it twice this year and got shit for it. shit is in nothing, not shit is in harassment or terrible stuff.
Yeah.
And I was just thinking today of the people who did not get shit, but got what I was hoping to go for, and just thinking that you're not supposed to tell people that. You're not supposed to tell people, yeah, you should put yourself out there. You should do all this, and still nothing may happen. But it's true.
Yeah.
And so I need to remember that.
It's totally true. No, yeah.
And so I need to remember that just those disappointments are not indicative of...
They're normal, yeah.
Yeah,
they're normal.
And I guess it's stupid because I know that rejections happen all the time, but that's not specifically what I'm talking about. I'm talking about actually, like, walking up to somebody and saying, I want to be part of your project, which is different than, like, submitting a book.
You fuck yourself, yeah.
Yeah.
All I got was fuck yourself on that, Cameron. What did you say?
Experienced such a thing, yes.
Apparently, never go up to Hurley and say you want to be part of her project.
It's rough.
I totally missed the first part of that. I don't even know what she said.
Yeah, and radio turkeys. No, Mur, I feel you. You're talking about, like, you did the thing. Everybody says do the thing, and if you can just drag it up and do the thing, then the good things will come from it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They don't always come from it. Like,
Yeah.
you make the big move, sometimes it amounts to nothing.
Yeah.
And it's totally okay.
But I'm no worse off for doing it.
You're nowhere.
So I need
all
to
you can
remember
say
that
no.
I got to keep trying.
Yeah. But that is true. That is the thing. People do focus on that. Well, if you can just work up the nerve to put yourself out there and do it, then the good things will come.
Yeah.
You kind of gloss over the whole, well, no, like the first 100 times you do that, people will spit in your face. And
Well,
really, will tell you
it's
to
like
go-
still
really
random.
specifically will tell you to go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
But
You might, like, increase your chances by, like, 1-2%. I mean,
I was gonna say, like, literally, dude, my response to that is informed by Hollywood bullshit, where it's like, yeah, you can put yourself out, and people come to you, and again, I'm sure some of us have dealt with this, where it's just like, yeah, oh, we love you. And
We
it's
love
the
you.
usual Hollywood bullshit.
What
We
you
are
created is
loving you,
amazing.
blah, blah, blah. And finally, I got to the point where I actually signed something, and you're just like, yay, I'll get some money. So at least there's some money. But even then, it's not a lot of money, and everyone's excited until they're not excited, and then they stop talking to you for a year, and then suddenly they decide they want to talk to you because you're like, I'm going to go sell this to someone else. Like, oh, shit, we need to do something with this. Like, correct.
No, we love you. Don't you remember that we love you?
Right? Remember. So anyway,
Yep.
yeah, it's just the same bullshit everywhere in the world.
yeah, nobody out here wants to tell you no. They just stop talking
Right?
to you.
Which
Yeah,
is weird.
I always say is the difference between publishing and Hollywood. Publishing,
Yes.
it's no before it's yes, and in Hollywood it's yes
Yep.
before it's no.
Yeah, exactly.
And Chuck, honestly, I wish they would just be like, no, this is not, here's literally what they need to say to me. This is not the right time,
Yeah.
but it'll be a right time. Can you just hold off for 6 months or 8 months or 12 months or whatever?
Sure.
I think we're close. Because again, a lot of things have changed in the last like 12 months with this project I'm working on. And they've come back and been like, don't sell it to someone else. This is perfect. I'm like, no shit, it's fucking perfect. Get off your ass. Get off your ass. Don't sell this shit.
I love Cameron Hurley.
Me too.
It's kind of hard not to.
Yeah. Good time.
Anyway, so
She's like the good and bad shoulder angel all at
I
once.
Yeah.
all of those things. I keep it real, people. I
Yeah.
try
You do.
where I'm just, because I really am that sort of person where I'm just like, just tell me it straight.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah,
No one does.
yeah. Just be straight with me. I really don't mind. And I get that there are people out there who are, wilting flowers and they only want to hear good stuff about themselves. But I'm like, if you tell me, hey, this is not the right time, but I anticipate in 10 to 12 months it's going to be great because of X, Y, and Z, I'll be like, yeah, sure, great, no problem. But if, don't tie up my fucking IP if you can't do something with it and you're not going to talk to me about it, for...
It's the not talking to you about it. They're
Right?
stuck. Like, they're just,
Oh.
like, gone. Like, they're ghosting you.
They're
Yeah.
gone. Yes! Yes, that exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, the older I get and the longer I do this, the less tolerance I have for my time being wasted. That's really what it is.
Yeah.
It's waste. I hate feeling like my time has been wasted on stuff. That's the thing I loathe the most.
Yeah. No good reason
Yeah.
that is
Yeah.
discernible.
Yeah, when I sold the rights to Shambling Guides to Netflix, it was 3 years ago, more than that. And they were just like, this was before, I think they had Orange is the New Black and maybe House of Cards as big hits and nothing else.
Yeah, people
Hadn't
forget
done any movies.
Yeah.
And they're just like, we're so excited about this. We think this might be our next thing. We want to expedite this. I learned that expedite means absolutely nothing in Hollywood.
Meaningless word. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's up there with "We love you."
Yes.
Let's do lunch.
Yeah,
Crashed it.
Let's expedite lunch.
and they wouldn't even let me announce until after it had been re-upped once. So I had to sit on that news for over 18 months.
Yeah, that was the part that tripped me out about that. Is that didn't make any sense to me whatsoever.
Yeah.
Yeah, DCIP was out there for a year before we could say anything. Of course, before we could say anything, nothing was even happening with it. They just bought it and then like walked away and fell asleep. And then someone else got involved, and next thing I know, everybody was excited and things were happening.
I read Invasive actually after that came out. Anyway, Chuck, it's a great book. I loved it. It was amazing. Everyone go buy it. It was really fun. I recommend it to my husband as well. But yeah, it was one of those things where it's like that extra push, right? Where you're just like, why the fuck? Okay, why aren't I reading this? I love bugs. I love who are FBI investigators. Why aren't I reading this? Oh, this is really good. But yeah, it's so funny. And then they sit on it, and you're just like, what the fuck are you sitting on? This is perfect. We need this right now.
Yeah, and they just
everybody love bugs.
Yeah, doesn't I know, David.
Yeah, that turnover is also what fucks you. So many times it's like 3 months later you're dealing with an entirely new staff of people.
Seriously.
For 3 months before that.
Yeah.
And it's always the person who really liked your shit that leaves.
Yeah.
Never like they're promoted to president. So it's like, nah, they're gone. No. And the new person hates you, by the way.
Yeah. The person who liked you, they fired them because they like you.
Yeah. And the
found out they like you, and you're out.
The new president told me you look exactly like the guy who killed his father in the war. So
right.
We're not going to be doing your project anymore.
Yeah. But we own the rights to it for 6 years. So.
Exactly. No, we don't want anybody else to make it. Because if they make money off it, then we'd look like assholes. So we're just going to keep it forever.
We hate you that bad.
I had someone who wanted an auto renewal, and I was just like, no. Auto renewal. And I'm like, no, you can talk to me in 6 months about what the fuck you've done with my shit. Yeah. Why are we doing auto renewal? And she's like, well, I'll pay you money. I was like, well, that's something at least.
It's funny.
And then I'm like, okay, 6 months auto renewal, and then nothing else. Because, like, literally, you can't get on the fucking phone and speak to a human being about what you've done?
Yeah.
Get on the phone and talk about what you've done. You think about that.
Auto-renewing, then you know they're not paying any attention to it at all. We're just,
exactly.
Yeah. It's like it's a fucking gym membership. It's ridiculous.
Oh, God. That's what it is.
It's just a monthly fee. They rent your property to do nothing with it.
Which, again, if I was like Neuromancer, and I don't know what he's making for Neuromancer, but it probably is at least 20, right? At least 20 a year for Neuromancer. And I'm like, yeah, if it's Neuromancer paying me basically a living wage for $20,000 a year, that's one thing. But, like, for the shit that you're auto-renewing for, no.
No, yeah. If you can get, depending on the deal you can get out of them. Yeah. I mean, the numbers change everything. And I mean, there are plenty of authors who live off that shit, and that's fine.
I'd love to live off that.
I know, that'd be amazing.
I'd love to live off that,
That tells you a lot about my professional expectations when I got into this business, because I heard somebody talking about that really early at a con, like how they just they were able to get by off their optioning money, and I was like, oh, I want to do that. Like, I didn't go to, I want to be a bestseller.
Yeah, I know.
Oscar. I was like, oh man, can I just get an option deal that's like lets me get by every year?
Options every year, and I would be like, yeah, sure, yeah.
That's so fucking sad. But it would be amazing, and I would still take it. That's the thing.
Oh yeah.
The real funny thing is, like, when you option stuff, is how everyone suddenly treats your project like it's real now. Like a book that's been out and maybe an attention
for years.
Suddenly it's like, oh my god, film and TV. Are you excited? You're like, no, I was excited when the book was out. That was the part.
5 years ago.
Because film and TV doesn't really happen usually.
Yeah, that's just
those take
99% of the time.
I love trying to explain to people how much money Hollywood spends on absolutely nothing.
On not making things.
On not making things. Yeah.
It's amazing.
I'm like, the option means nothing. That means they've just thrown money at me, and no one else is allowed to throw money at me.
Yeah.
Right. But that's the whole ecosystem in Hollywood. Like I did the we were talking about Sundance earlier. I did the Sundance Screenwriters Lab a few years ago, or several years ago at this point.
Cool.
And how do these like amazing mentors and like Scott Frank and stuff like that, who are just these amazing world class screenwriters, and it's amazing how much they don't make. Like they have a list of projects they have written and created and not made is far longer than the things that they've actually made. And I'm like, I can't imagine what that would be like as an author to have like a bookshelf full of books that you have never published. Just like someone
that's
paid you for them, and
that's like the benefit of being an author. Yeah.
So weird.
But she loves.
No, that was always
the other thing. Yeah.
That was always my favorite John August quote. Was they asked him what kind of projects do you like to be involved in, and he said the kind that get made.
Yeah.
Which is key, man. It absolutely is key out here. Like, especially once you're in the mix, once you're like an official, you start getting a few things produced. Yeah. If you get attached to enough strings of things that don't happen, that can kill your career just as quickly as it started,
Yeah.
And that to me is the horrifying thought, is like actually get going and get in there and, be doing the thing. And then you catch a bad string and suddenly like nobody's calling you back.
Right.
I think I've probably told this story before, but I remember I was talking to a screenwriter who had sold a book, and he was telling me he kept waiting for the book to be canceled.
Yes.
He didn't understand that once he'd signed a contract and turned in a book, then you got a 90, of course there's 1% chance someone's going to kill it.
But it's still 99.
But still, once you sign the contract and write the book, it's coming out.
Right.
Yeah, they kept changing editors on them, and then the publisher sold it to another publisher, and then that publisher went bankrupt, and then, like, that doesn't happen. That's not
gone.
It does happen. It does happen.
It does happen.
But 99% of the time, yes, it does not happen.
I'm sorry, Hurley. I should have done a little. You came out fine. You're fine. Don't worry.
I'm lucky in this fucking business. Yes, but it's fine.
Hey, you got paid. I mean,
I got fucking paid. Yeah.
You always got to get that. Not everybody gets that out of the deal.
Again, that's why agents, again, people like to, especially, anyway, people knock on agents, but like that's why agents are important. Where literally my agent at the time, and I've switched agents since, but even her at the time, she was like, no, there was no contractual reason that you cannot pay us all this fucking money. And I got paid for doing nothing. So it's worth it.
Yeah.
So you actually did go through the Hollywood experience and publishing.
Right?
Yeah,
totally did. Where, I got $30,000 for doing nothing.
Woo!
But
that's the dream.
To your point, though, no one should knock agents, because that's exactly why you have a good agent right there. You should knock shitty agents, but that's why you have a good agent right there.
Ooh, speaking of shitty agents, Chuck completely destroyed an agent online a couple of days ago.
Oh, was it the adverbs thing?
Yes. Yeah. Tell that story, Chuck.
Tell that story, Chuck.
I don't think was it me? Did I do that?
Was it you?
Murr apparently thinks it was you.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I don't know. He's a British agent. I don't know who the guy is, to be fair. And he tweeted like, should unequivocally remove all adjectives and adverbs from your book. And I tell new writers this all the time. Blah blah blah. It was kind of one of those smug pieces of bizarre writing advice. First of all, because you cannot reasonably be expected to remove all adjectives and adverbs.
Yeah.
It doesn't even make any sense to do that, considering how adjectives and adverbs are part of speech. I just was joking about it and sort of went after that a little bit. I didn't think I was like harsh to the guy. I try not to like attack the person these days. Attack them as
no, and I think that's a good policy. But that's harmful, man.
Mm-hmm.
Because
that's the thing. That's why I don't think these people realize that I think they, you come out with such stark. Golden chestnut advice, and people listen to it. They take that seriously.
They do, because you're like the clergy of the industry. Somebody sees agents, and they're like, "Well, I got to take this as gospel." So that can actually really fuck people up, because new writers are I used to say new writers are dumb, but that's not fair. They're just ignorant. You don't know anything when you're.
They're naive to what's happening.
Yeah. So in that case, I think a little harshness is called for because that's just a shitty thing to do to people.
It is, and you worry about sort of what that says. First of all, because it's wildly disprovable. All of the things you think are cardinal rules of writing are nearly always disprovable, often by the books you have loved the most. So
right.
It's such a strange thing, and then to have an agent do it. I mean, the reality of writing and publishing and all this stuff is nobody actually knows anything. Like, nobody really we don't know anything. We have ideas and we have opinions of how things should be or how our writing should look or how other
educated guesses.
Yeah, educated guesses, and even then, it's like a wink, wink. Educated, like maybe
educated with air quotes. Yeah,
have vigorous air quotes.
No, but it's writing and thinking of that dude representing writers and having access to their manuscripts. Yeah. I was talking to an author at a thing this weekend. I'm not going to name names, but they were just telling me how they had changed agents recently and how the straw that broke the camel's back was they had gone to their agent and they were like, "Can you get me some extra freelance work? Because we're kind of in between books right now and I really need something." And their agent, their literary book agent, told this author, "Have you considered babysitting? People make a lot of money." Who was it? I make a lot of money babysit. This is a real thing.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Real thing.
Guess that agent after we stop recording. Yes. Great. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I didn't even know what to say to that other than you made a good choice dropping that agent and getting a new one.
Yeah.
And fortunately, the author got a really good new agent, and the agent selling that author's books, and it was a good end of the story. But it just, the thing with the adverbs guy happened like within a few days of that. So I've kind of been thinking about shitty agents. Yeah. And I had that on the brain. So yeah, man, don't bag on good agents. Shitty agents is one thing, but make sure you're getting a good agent. Because that is an invaluable resource. But I just couldn't. It's just so sad that that's a thing that's allowed to proliferate. You think there would be industry standards where people like that wouldn't be able to get clients?
Yeah.
But there will always. Yeah. Well, yeah. But anyway, I don't have a thesis there. It reminded me of that story, and I had to tell that story.
Yeah.
I think we've gotten off track. We were talking about 2017 plans.
Yeah, we were doing that. We can do that. Also, Marie, you wanted to talk about the Patreon thing, too. Do you want to do that?
Does anybody else want to talk about their 10,000-foot view of next year, or is it just write more and get more money?
Get more money, write more.
I mean, my 2018 is, it's weird for me. It's the first year I have, only one thing to write. I have a second book in a contract. It's actually that big giant book that I wrote is a 2-book deal, and the second book is a big question mark, which I had with Invasive. Invasive was a question mark book, so it's always weird to not have to actually tell them what you're going to write. I mean, I'm going to work with an editor. I'm not going to be a moron and just jump right in there. But I could just turn in 100,000 words of just something completely bizarre and hope they'll publish it. So I have that mystery book to write, and that's it. I have no other.
And you're used to having 10 things stacked up behind 10 other things.
Stacked it every time. I don't. Yeah. In fact, I only have one book coming out in 2018, and that's the next Miriam Black book in January. And then I'm I have nothing.
Holy shit, that's
great.
Great.
Sad and lost and weird. I don't know what to do.
But is that empirically? Is that a good thing for you, or is it a disconcerting thing for you? How
I feel empirically, it's probably good. I just slow down and ease off the throttle a little bit. But it's hard to do that and survive at the same time. But I mean, I ultimately compete with myself on bookshelves, which is not good. I do really last year during right around the Star Wars book, and bookstores have limited shelf space, and they're only going to carry one of those. So they didn't carry the Miriam book. At all. No one cared.
Ouch.
No, I laugh, but I just laugh because I honestly hadn't considered that before. And when you said it, I was like, oh God, that is absolutely true. He really does have to do that.
Yeah. If you have a book within 3 months of another book release, you're competing with yourself on a shelf. I mean, that's the one practical reality of sort of in the traditional space dealing with bookstores is that kind of problem.
Right.
Well, for self-publishers, that's what you want to go for.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, that can be a double-edged sword, too, though. I mean, at least in terms of, I find, with promotional space, at least.
Yeah, I think the problem is still there. It's just in a different way. Just
a different context. As we talked about, everything's context in 2017.
Yeah, it is.
Cameron?
So 2018, survive. Just survive.
Just survive.
Survive. You just try to survive the radio turkeys out there in the
radio turkeys in the valley. With
the turkeys are the worst.
Yeah.
Especially when they wear Nazi boots.
Right.
No one likes Nazi boots and turkeys.
Nope. Except the turkeys. The turkeys like the Nazi boots.
Turkeys do like the Nazi boots.
I don't know what it is with turkeys and Nazi boots. Yeah, honestly.
That's why turkeys are bullshit.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. They're awful creatures.
Bullshit. It's bullshit.
Fuck turkeys.
Fuck them.
They need to be eaten.
Yeah, they deserve.
It's morally sound eating turkeys.
It's not even that they're good. It's just they need to be.
They need to be eaten. Yeah. It's the only way to make sure. It's like nuking the planet from orbit. It's the only way to be sure. You never know a turkey is dead until you've eaten it.
Man, my Thanksgiving's going to be more awesome from that. With all this.
But if you only eat the thighs, then you can keep it alive.
Then you've taken its power, though.
Yeah.
Taking the turkey's power.
Yeah.
It's radio power.
It's radio power. Just creating mythologies. That's all we do.
That's all we do.
Figures.
Even here.
Hurley, did you have things to say about 2018 before we...
I gotta write a lot of fucking books. I gotta finish all these books I haven't finished. So...
How many books do you have to write, Hurley? Tell us. How many?
At least two.
At least
really, realistically, if I want to... Again, I'm trying to move to Canada so I can save $2,000 literally every single fucking month. So I am looking at, I have to at least finish Stars Are... Oh, no. I wrote that book. Sorry. I need at least finish...
It never ends.
Light Brigade! Well, listen, they were part of the same deal. Okay, listen. Right. Stars Legion and Light Brigade, they're both state-of-the-line SF novels. They both need to be done. And this one is due February 1st. So my hope is to finish that one February 1st. And then the next one to finish, of course, is Broken Heavens, which is the third book in the Worldbreaker saga, which I was supposed to finish this year. Anyway, it was 2017. Fuck 2017. Fuck them all. Yeah. So I'm trying to finish that one. And again, I do have, as my agent and I talked about, I do have like 60,000 good words of that. I'd love to finish that by the end of this year. And then I want to finish, or I want to start a spec novel, which... Anyway, I can't talk about for reasons that it's really good.
It's about radio turkeys.
My agent, I literally emailed my agent with the ideas, and she's like, "Yes, don't tell Twitter that." She's like, "Don't tell Twitter. Don't tell him." So I'm trying to finish, or at least start that by the end of the year. But I do need to get those other two books finished and sent out so that we can get paid. And pay our immigration lawyer in the hopes that we can get the fuck out of Ohio, which is a piece of shit. But so that's my 2017 or 2018 goals. Excuse me. And then so that's what I'm looking at this point in time. I'm trying to consider. We haven't talked about Patreon yet, but Patreon pays me, right? Like quite a bit of money, especially if I were to move and not have $2,000 every single month in health insurance costs. It would give me kind of a living wage. So I'm looking at kind of expanding Patreon and also giving, writing a short story a month for Patreon and using that to pay a lot of fees and stuff to get out of Ohio, which has become a hard red state, my friends.
I'm very sorry about that.
Swing state, to a hard red state. So we are working on that and actively looking to change our situation. So,
and also you want to wear more hats, as we established earlier.
Right? I want to wear more hats and glasses. Okay, the 80s aesthetic is hats, glasses, and also cigarettes. But, again, we have vapes now, so you don't have to necessarily, it doesn't have to be tobacco. It can be, God knows, anything. Anyway, so I have all of that shit down for the 80s future. So I just need to ensure I have health insurance for this 80s future that we are staring down.
That's a good plan. Health insurance.
Health insurance. When I looked at health insurance, it sort of came down to, okay, there were several things. And I'm just going to, this is important for the topic of this podcast, which is how do we make it professionally. I still have a day job, obviously. I went to the day job and they said, hey, our health insurance costs are going up. Our deductible is now going to be $3,500 more every single year. And that was going to bring us to $10,400 every single year before our actual health insurance, which we paid something like $350 a month, plus what my employer paid for it. So it was a lot of money. It was bullshit. It was crazy. The deductible was crazy. Before they even pay for anything, you have to pay the deductible of $10,400. And I said, this is bullshit. And so they did a formal poll at my employer, and basically everybody voted for the worst insurance. They were like, no, we want to keep the $10,400 instead of going back to the $6,000 deductible. And I said, okay.
No, you didn't. You said, fuck all y'all.
Yeah.
It's like, are you serious? And they're younger, and I get it. When I was 26, before I got sick, I would have done the exact same thing. Why did I pay $30? I'm looking at other options. It has come to the point for me and my family. My husband has issues as well, where we just kind of went, is this really the best place for us to spend $2,000 every single fucking month just to survive? Or should we look at other options? And luckily, another writer that we know who has made the immigration trip to Canada, was like, hey, here's a way that you may be able to do this. And it turns out that we can possibly do it. So
it's doable.
It's doable. Yeah. So we're gonna work on that. We had a long drawn out talk about that. And again, I worry about my spouse, right? He does freelance work. I have a day job. But again, if something would happen to me, I have a chronic illness. If something would happen to me, like, what happens to him, right?
Yeah,
so you have to think about that. So it's a very serious consideration. And so we are kind of at this crossroads in 2018 where we kind of went, we're not going to have enough for the future because we're paying so much for the present to survive 2017. What are we going to do? So we're looking at our options, and that's really fabulous. And in order to achieve those things that we need to achieve, I'm going to be writing a lot. A lot to trying to open up our options, basically. So the end.
Yeah.
Nice.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That's what you can do. You can write.
That's all you can do. Write a lot of fucking words. Write a lot of words. So, yeah.
That's what I keep telling myself. Matt?
What?
Did you
What?
do you want to talk about 2017? Did you already? I'm not sure if we're part of that tangent or...
I don't remember, but I think we should move on.
Okay.
17, move on.
Well, it's fun because we were all set to go all ranty about this, but this is one of those things that happened. There was a big tornado, and then it got resolved. But Patreon recently increased fees to the supporters of patrons. And
we're going to, yeah.
Well, yes, they announced they were going to do it. It was going to go into effect this Sunday, I believe. And people freaked out because it was a pretty much 35% raise on people giving like $1 and $2 a month. And they would be charging for every single pledge. So if you pledge $10 to 10 people, you're paying $13.50. And so after they announced that, a whole lot of people, completely justified, I held no grudges, dropped off. They canceled their pledges or they stepped them back because they said, I'm not going to be able to afford this. And people got really mad and yelled at Patreon, and Patreon just recently stepped back and said, whoa, we did not know we would piss you off this much, so we're not going to do it. We'll try to figure something else out, and we won't spring it on you. But what got me thinking is it's not a huge amount of our, Matt's and my income. Support our Patreon at patreon.com/MightyMur. But it is a piece of income, and I did not want it to go down. And so I was thinking, even though the status quo is going to remain, what are our options moving forward to diversify. So if Patreon did screw us, we wouldn't be hurt so hard.
That's a good question. I've seen a lot of people floating different options on Twitter, alternatives to Patreon this week. Everybody was talking about Drip, which is, I guess, Kickstarter is launching that or has launched that. I haven't really looked into it.
Worst name, by the way, Drip.
Right?
Yeah, really.
Isn't it awful? Oh my
It's
God,
like
Chuck.
syphilis or something. It's not a good
Agreed.
Drip.
Yep.
Gonorrhea.
Yeah, but-
Been off the right. Yeah, I agree. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the syphilis option is invite only and beta right now.
Yeah.
That's what I couldn't remember. I'm trying to find. Little St. Crow was talking about another one. The name is like Gum or something like that.
Gumshoe. Gumroad, Gumshoe.
Gumroad is more like per thing.
Yeah,
I don't
Gumroad
know.
is like PayHip.
Yeah, it's PayHip. Gumroad is PayHip. And
Cameron, do you want to tell our listeners what PayHip is?
PayHip is, again, you instead of like buying something through Amazon.com, like saying, I want an EPUB of your short story, you go to Gumroad and Gumroad says, here's an EPUB, here's a Mobi, here's a PDF of this thing. And all of the money goes with a less like fees toward Gumroad again.
It is a place to sell things.
It's a place to sell shit where 2% instead of like 5 or 10 or 15% goes
PayHip worked pretty well for me on that.
yeah.
I mean, I use PayHip to sell things, and I mean it's a good. I've made money doing that. It's nice, but it's just not. It's not the same.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
What's really, I don't even know where to start, like, with the shit. But the thing to me that occurs to me about that is, like, the end result of all this stuff is the same. You're trying to get people to pay you money so you can write or do whatever you're doing.
Yeah.
It's not even about getting people to pay for the thing. It's getting people to find a way to get people to accept the idea of giving you money to help you make the thing.
Yeah.
You know, because people don't want to go to a store and buy a thing. And I was talking about this in my blog the other day. They want to feel like they're a part of something. Like, it's really the communal aspect is why Patreon and why Kickstarter and why all these things work so well. It's because at the end of the day, that's what they're doing. They're paying for you to make stuff, but they're doing it in a way that they feel they're getting more than just stuff for their money. And that's the experience that they're looking for. Yeah. And I mean, I get that. I don't even want to bag on it, but it's just, I resent the fact, because the thing is, to me, it limits a lot of people who aren't good at developing community. They don't have those community development skills. Yeah. And I don't like the idea that someone who is very hardworking and a very talented creator has to have those skills, or else they can't make the shit that they want to make. That just seems just categorically unfair and fucked up to me.
Well, not only that, it limits your ability to create the actual stuff you're trying to create when you're spending time trying to create platform / community / outreach / marketing, whatever else you have to do.
Right. It's all of those things. Yeah. And it's just extra. It's just, I don't know. I don't have a thesis or any answer to this stuff, but that's what I was thinking about with all the Patreon stuff going on, is just because I've always found, and begrudging no one who's had huge success on Patreon, Hurley included, I'm spectacularly happy that your Patreon is awesome, and I want that for you. But I've never been able to really fully trust Patreon as a model, because I just find it so volatile and unstable for so many reasons.
Oh, sure.
And that's just one of those things that, this week was just a demonstration of why that is a thing. At the end of the day, as much as Patreon and Kickstarter and like YouTube, they all push this partnership idea. We're partners with our creators, blah blah blah. At the end of the day, you're a customer. You're like the people who are donating the money, and that they're gonna treat you like a customer at the end of the day. With this whole thing,
either.
Oh, I'm sorry. What was that, Chuck?
Not necessarily like a good customer.
Yeah.
No, not at all. Yeah.
A resource to be mined rather than a customer. I mean, Amazon's platform with Kindle can be that way. Anytime we rely on a single major platform, whether it's Twitter or Patreon or Amazon, to be the thing, they have a lot of power then. And we've seen with Amazon where they change a bunch of little things in the contracts, and suddenly people can search algorithms, and they don't have to be. At least Patreon was, I guess, clear about a lot of this stuff, whereas Amazon just fiddles with levers all the time. It thinks books, and you have no idea why.
Amazon is just kind of evil. I don't know any other way to say it.
Yes.
Amazon is kind of, it's one of those things where that's a machine that's grown so huge and self-aware. It's like Skynet at this point.
Yeah, I don't even think it's evil. It's just soulless.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's just it eats everything because it's so huge.
Yeah, and we've given a lot of food.
Yeah, and we continue to do so.
Yeah, I do it every day. I give Amazon food every day.
I do. I link to Amazon on almost a daily basis. There's no way around it. You know, it's like either you don't want that money or you deal with the beast. You know, there's no. But that's the other thing I was talking about is you try to get away from like traditional publishing to like eliminate the middle people, right? So you can like get closer to the money. That's supposed to be the whole point.
Yeah.
But in doing that, you go to these services like Patreon or whatever, and it's just creating another form of middle people between you and the money. And the more successful they get, the more like the thing that you're trying to escape they become.
Yeah.
So I think the answer ultimately, obviously, is you need to get directly to the audience. They need to be dealing with you and only you.
Yeah.
Was it just like standing on the corner handing out thumb drives?
I don't know, but I mean, like, dude, it's, Patreon wasn't doing anything that we weren't doing in podcasting 10 years ago. They just branded it.
Correct. Yeah. A lot of, again, everyone, having dealt with this whole bullshit, again, I make, before the bullshit, $2,500 a month, right, on Patreon. That's a lot of fucking money.
That's huge.
For a lot of people, that is a living fucking wage. My husband's like, if you weren't part of this, he's like, we've been paying. And I'm like, I like to have money. But he's like, and if we didn't have to pay for health insurance and all these bullshit health costs, he's like, $2,500 a month, we could fucking make it. And I said, I agree with you if we didn't have to deal with this bullshit. So when this came up and we lost like immediately after the fees because a lot of these are like, we have a lot of $1 Patreons. Yeah. So we had to deal with a lot of bullshit with that. We lost about $150. And so, the problem is, then all of a sudden we go from $2,500 to $2,300 a month. That's quite a large,
you're taking a pay cut.
Yeah, we're taking a huge pay cut for your bullshit. And I have let Patreon know, trust me, folks, in many different ways.
I have no doubt that you have let Patreon know.
In many different ways. Like, this is not cool. This is not okay. You can't charge a $1 pledge, who says, I'm going to charge $1. And then they're like, we're going to charge you $150. And you're like, fuck you. Agreed. Because I'm a patron as much as I am also a creator on Patreon. So so it was a shitty piece of shit they did.
It was a shitty piece of shit.
Shitty piece of shit. There's two more references, I think.
Oh yeah, sorry. Thanks, Chuck.
That's everything.
Yeah.
And
it was a big old radio turkey, basically.
It's horrible, and we have dealt with it, and luckily, again, thank you for everyone who's come back. But literally everyone who's come back has been like, Cameron, I'll follow you wherever you fucking want to go. You want to go to Drip, you want to go to Gumroad, you want to go, where the fuck you want to go? And that was the part to me that really made me angry, was me saying, you know what, Patreon, I brought my people to you and we trusted you. And we said to you, we'll trust our, money and bullshit to you. And for them to come back and be like, so we just decided right before Christmas that we're going to charge everyone like $1.
Merry Christmas.
We didn't even mention that right before fucking Christmas.
Right before Christmas. And again, right before we were going to start this thing with Canadian, for me and my husband for Canadian permanent residency, I was like, go fuck yourself. Go fuck yourself, Patreon. Like, really?
So, Hurley, can I ask you a question? Before they realized that everyone was going to burn their offices down, and reverse this thing, were you thinking about where you were going to take everyone if you had to get off it? Or, like, what were you thinking you were going to do?
I love Patreon. To be honest, Patreon's been really great. I have, and I don't know what their monthly bullshit is before they send you, like, someone who was like, here's your personal Patreon, I don't know, supporter or whatever. But they have someone that they like connect you with. It's like, hey, what can we do for you? That's amazing. And I went to them and said, you know, every single time they come to me, and I was like, here's the issues that I have with the service, and they would listen to me. And that to me was the best part of the Patreon. It was like they would listen to me. They actually understood that, like, they're not giving me anything. They are taking the fans that I bring to them and monetizing them. I'm making them fucking money. That was what pissed me off.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm bringing my people to you saying, trust these, trust this, trust these people to give me, you know, again, a living wage to help me out. And they were fucking them over. And I'm like, you could fuck yourselves with what you're doing. So anyway, Patreon pissed me off this month. They did, okay, I want to say, Patreon did an amazing job with whoever the fuck wrote their apology. I want to give them props for that. They were amazing. They're awesome. That was great. At the same time, again, Howard Taylor was saying this. At the same time, you've lost my trust forever because you did this thing without talking to me.
Yeah.
And so I have to look at, you know, when Drip comes to me and says, hey, check out our service, I'm going to check out their service. So,
Right.
Yeah.
Even though it is a horrible name and sounds like syphilis.
It's a horrible name. It sounds like syphilis or just temper or whatever.
Yeah.
So when Drip comes to you, that should be the first thing you say to them is, before I consider going,
Syphilis. Yeah.
you need to change your name.
Seriously.
Yeah, I'm surprised they didn't say anything about what was going on. I mean, I have heard from someone who's connected with, not connected, but knows somebody connected with them that were just flat out not ready. But they could have said something.
24 hours going to tell all their Patreons, we're going to increase their fees by 50% if they're the $1. And I'm like, shh, I don't know. What does that mean?
When they tried to the thing that pissed me off was they tried to front load it like everybody's going to make more money. That was the part.
Yeah.
Right.
Or it was like, Whereas like, we're doing this for creators. Like, fuck yourselves.
Yeah. And they were hoping nobody would dig into it. They were just really hoping nobody would notice. This is the truth.
Yeah, which is a bad move in 2017 because everybody's like really extra sensitive now to everything.
Yeah.
Like, everybody's watching everything. Like, what's happening?
What's happening?
Did that just move over there?
Mer, how are we doing on time?
We've been going for a while. Let me look at the thing.
We should probably look towards the horizon here.
Yeah, let's bring it back, Mer.
We'll sunset this bad boy.
Let's sunset it, sweetheart.
Oh, it's me. Okay.
Do it.
Well, do we have any Twitter questions, Matt?
We don't. Nobody cares about Wendig.
Seriously?
Nobody cares.
Everyone went, yay! And then nothing.
And then nothing. I think honestly, people get intimidated by you two. Especially Hurley.
Yeah.
Me!
She'll kill it one day.
Because of shit like that. But no, so I think that's really what it is. So no, we know, and I think that's okay. I think end of the year, we'll deal with questions next year. Let's just wrap out the year with statements instead of questions.
Okay.
Make a statement, Mer.
Make a statement, Mer. May your 2018 be free of radio turkeys, Nazi boots, valleys or hills, depending on how you view them, and outhouses full of demons. And if that outhouse full of demons gets too close, you know what to do.
Have Chuck come and piss on them.
Yeah.
No, you can piss on them yourself.
It's not just me. This isn't for me, Matt.
I thought it had to be Wendig urine.
No, not just Wendig urine. We all have the power, Matt.
We all have Wendig urine.
Yeah, I Wendig urine in us.
No.
Demon Jim.
Yeah.
No.
No.
I didn't. I said it. Ah!
Jesus.
No.
That was well stated until I screwed it up, Mer. That was actually really beautiful. Thank you.
Anybody else want to give a statement, even though I just pulled all the in jokes and
No,
threw them into
you did
one?
You nailed it.
I think you did really well, Mer. I think we should go with that. I think we should let everybody shill, and then we should call it a year. We should
right.
call it 2017.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Chuck, shill.
Shill. Oh, the enshillening. Let's see. Most recent release is a little writing book with a sassy monocled deer on the cover called Damn Fine Story. It's like Stephen King's On Writing if Stephen King's On Writing contained stories about elk masturbation.
Which I always thought it needed, frankly.
Yeah, that was always my chief complaint about that novel, or that book.
It does have getting poison ivy on your balls.
Yeah, but no elk masturbation. Like, where's that? Come on, Stephen. Right?
Yes, Stephen.
Yes, Stevie. And then the next Miriam Black book 5, the penultimate, I'm using that word correctly, by God. The penultimate Miriam Black book, The Raptor and the Wren, is out in January.
Beautiful. Good title, too, by the way.
Thank you.
Hurley?
Hurley says, read Invasive by Chuck Wendig.
Thank you.
Fucking good.
Oh,
My husband and I both loved it. And
Cute.
anyway, both of us loving a book. A+.
Well, I think I would like to actually take a moment to love all of you, because seriously, like I respect and adore all of your work. 6 Weeks is amazing. Sin du Jour series.
Right?
Lesbians in Space.
Mm-hmm.
Holy shit!
Fucking great book.
I'm a big
Thank you,
thing
Chuck.
in
No.
Spain.
Yeah.
I would like you to know.
Yeah.
You can't even go near Portugal. You can't even go
Right?
Lesbians in
Fuck
Spain.
Portugal.
near lesbians in Spain.
Fucking A. Yeah.
Thank you, Chuck. That was very
Yes,
sweet
thank
of you.
you.
Thank you, Chuck.
No, like I'm in good
Also,
company here.
invasive. And fuck them if they haven't made into a show, because it's amazing. So, Hurley says, I Chuck Wendig's work because he's amazing. And also, Hurley says, I'm going to have a book called Light Brigade in 2018. End of 2018. Buy it. It's amazing. It's like Looper, except better.
Ooh.
I believe it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Believe it. And also, 2019 will be the third book of Boral Barker series, and we amazing also. So.
We're all looking forward to that one. My wife included.
Me too.
Mer, what do you got?
I've got 6 Wakes is a wonderful Christmas present for the science fiction or mystery lover in your life. And I Should Be Writing is a great present for the writer in your life, or the wannabe writer in your life. That's I Should Be Writing the book, not the podcast. Which is also good for the wannabe writing in your life, but not easy to wrap up and give.
Whereas the book is.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very cool. I also, so Chuck mentioned Sin du Jour, the penultimate, and I'm also using that word correctly, penultimate book in the Sin du Jour series is out now. It's called Gluttony Bay. The series concludes next year in April with book 7, the final book in the Sin du Jour series, Taste of Wrath, will be out next year. I've also got Rencor, Life in Grudge City. That's my Lucha Buddy Cop novella that's out right now. And I'm doing the YouTubes. So if you would subscribe to Angry Writer on YouTube, I post new vlogs every weekday. I have my The Ways I Lie series about writing. I do unboxing videos with my wife. She puts makeup on me. It's a lot of fun, so come check it out. Angry Writer on YouTube.
Nice.
Yeah. And so, yeah, that was, those are the things.
Those are the things. That was 2017. I still miss Carrie Fisher.
We're always going to miss Carrie
from
Fisher.
the Writing Murder Shed.
Murder Shed.
From the Writing Murder Shed.
Murder Shed.
I don't think we could have wrapped up this year any better than having you two back on to complete the trilogy. And I really want to thank both Chuck and Cameron for agreeing to show up and do this. It was, it's always a ton of fun.
I know there was not a lot of demon jizz, but we still missed you guys.
I know.
That's okay. Chuck pissed on demons, so I feel like
He did.
Right?
Yes.
I'm with you in a place.
Congratulations, Chuck.
That was our third act twist. You thought there would be demon jizz, but instead there was pissing on demons.
Okay, that's
Done.
We did the thing.
We did.
Murr, take us home.
What? Me. You had it. You were doing the demon jizz and the Wendig urine and the.
Murr, you do the sign-offs. That's always how we do things around here.
I feel pressure. Anyway, that was the year that was, and next year won't be. So, thank you guys for listening. And I am Mur Lafferty. That's Matt Wallace. And our guests, Cameron Hurley and Chuck Wendig. Thank you guys all. Happy holidays. Happy New Year. And we'll see you next time. You can support us at patreon.com/mightymur.
Ditch Diggers!
Theme song by Devo Spice. DevoSpice.com.